Baba Azaad was the kind of man whose presence seemed to shift the very air around him. His weathered face held years of wisdom and sorrow, surrounded by an aura of mystery. The village children whispered about him, their stories a blend of admiration and fear. His eyes, deep and piercing, held a gaze that seemed to see through you, into the darkness of the world. Baba Azaad lived alone in a house at the edge of the village, its walls covered in ivy, its windows cracked and coated in dust. No one visited him except his grandson, Rafi, who came on weekends. Despite his parents' warnings, Rafi would visit, eager to hear his grandfather's stories of faraway places and strange, ancient things. One evening, as Rafi arrived, he noticed something different. The sky was overcast, and the wind had picked up, howling through the trees like a warning. Baba Azaad appeared at the door, his face pale, eyes shadowed by something unspoken. "Come in, Rafi," he said, his voice hoarse and trembling. Rafi followed his grandfather into the dimly lit house, the air thick with the scent of old wood and something faintly metallic. The house was cluttered with odd artifacts, strange symbols, and dusty books piled high. But tonight, there was something different, something unsettling. Baba Azaad led Rafi to a small narrow door at the end of a dark hallway. The door was old, covered in strange markings that looked almost like scratches, shifting ever so slightly in the dim light. Rafi hesitated, a sense of unease creeping up his spine. "Grandpa, what's behind this door? You've never let me in here before." Baba Azaad turned slowly, his eyes meeting Rafi's with a serious intensity. "There are things, Rafi, things in this world that most people don't see, don't understand. But you're old enough now. You need to know the truth." With that, Baba Azaad unlocked the door, leading Rafi into a room unlike any other. The air inside the room was colder, freezing Rafi's breath. The walls were covered in strange symbols, etched in a frantic hurry. In the center of the room stood a large wooden chest, scarred and worn, surrounded by countless candles, their flames flickering in the otherwise still air. "This is where it all began," Baba Azaad said softly, his voice thick with regret. "Years ago, when I was younger, I stumbled upon a power that should have remained hidden. I made a choice, Rafi, a choice to summon something from beyond, something not of this world." Rafi's eyes were drawn to the chest, its lid slightly ajar, revealing a faint, flickering light. The room seemed to pulse with an ancient, dark energy he couldn't explain. "What did you summon?" Rafi asked, his voice barely above a whisper. A figure began to emerge from the chest, its shape twisted, its eyes glowing with a dark, otherworldly fire. Rafi felt the temperature drop to an unbearable cold. "No, no, no," Baba Azaad whispered in horror. "This was never supposed to happen. I thought I sealed it away forever." The figure from the chest moved faster than Rafi could react, its a smoky hand reaching out, closing around his wrist with a grip so cold it burned. As the darkness closed in around him, Rafi's last thought was of his grandfather and the terrible truth he had tried to keep hidden. Baba Azaad screamed, "Run, Rafi! Get out of here! It's too late for me, but you can still escape." His voice was filled with a desperation Rafi had never heard before, a desperation born of years of regret. Rafi and his grandfather shared a final look, a moment of understanding that crossed words. He could see the sorrow in Baba Azaad's eyes, the weight of choices made long ago. But there was love there, too, a love that bound them together, even as darkness surrounded them. Baba Azaad took a deep breath, placing himself between Rafi and the entity. "If it's a soul you want," he said quietly, "take mine." His voice was calm, filled with acceptance. He knew this was his way to atone, to end the nightmare he had brought into this world. Then, as quickly as it had begun, it was over. The room fell silent, the chest sealed shut once more. Rafi stood alone, staring at the empty space where Baba Azaad had been, his heart heavy with grief and gratitude. His grandfather's sacrifice had saved him, but at a terrible cost.